Good morning, Internet. My name is MilkDucks, and this is Domination on Nuketown 24/7. I love these events. I really do. Nuketown is such a good map because there's really no avoiding confrontation. I mean, you can hide out in your house, I guess, but you won't get any kills there. I mean, and that's the appeal of Nuketown for us. I mean, we play so many games where, people are just so afraid of full six-man squads that they leave the match or they just run a lot of ghost, and it's like they know they aren't going to win, so they just lay down in bushes or hide behind furniture and just try to pick you off as best they can, and it doesn't work anyway. It's just frustrating. It can get a little irritating. I mean, I queued up to play Domination, right? Not hide and seek. I mean, if I wanted to carefully sweep through buildings, checking all the shadowy corners for people trying to jump me, I'd play Search and Destroy, right? I mean, but I don't like Search. I like Domination. So that's why Nuketown is so great. I mean, you don't have that option. You have to fight us, even if you don't try to take the flags. I mean, even if you give up on trying to win the match, you still have to put up a fight. You don't you don't have a choice. That's why we love it so much. That's why it's great. We always post good games on Nuketown because how can you not? I know personally, like, most of my deaths come from the fact that I'll run through an area, not being real cautious because there's no reason for any enemies to be there, like, and then I'll get shot in the back, and I all I can think of is why. Why were you hiding there? Why were you behind that air conditioner? You're 80 points behind, you're miles away from the nearest contested flag. Why? My brain doesn't even register that there even could be someone back there, because why would they be? It makes zero sense for you to be there when and anyway, I mean, that's where most of my deaths come from, and that's why I love Nuketown. So I mean, having said that, I mean, map design can really make or break a game for me. A good map like Nuketown can really enhance the experience, while a poorly designed map like Quarry can really take away from it. It's not a concept that I think most people put much thought into. I think for most players the concern is over what perks are good, what guns are best. The focus is on the player. The question is, how can I do better? But I rarely hear people asking what maps are best. You see some polls sometimes where they ask which map is your favorite, but there's not much discussion concerning, why one map might be better than another. And people seem to think that it's all personal preference, but there's a lot more to it than that. Call of Duty 4 had tremendous map design. Black Ops also, great example of good map design. And what I mean by that is, a couple of things, really. I mean, first of all, for me, it's that the objectives are laid out in a way that makes sense, not just, well, A is over here, B is over here, C is over here. There's a lot more to it than just, players should have options, in ways that they can approach the objectives, sure, but in other ways too. I mean, look at jungle on Black Ops. There are long sight lines, there are tight corners, and there are areas, in between, so that all weapon classes can be represented. If you're running with a submachine gun, you can stick to the village and into the ruins, where there's really no escaping, the close quarters fighting. If you're using, a sniper rifle or an LMG even, I mean, there are high perches with long sight lines that give you access to, the entire center of the map. And, if you're running with an assault rifle, there are a lot of areas in between where you can excel. I mean, all weapon classes can do great on jungle. So that's what I'm hoping for in Modern Warfare 3 too. I mean, really tight, intentional map design, not just, like with Modern Warfare 2 and World at War, a lot of the maps just felt thrown together. It was like they thought, oh, this sounds like a good idea for a map, and they just sort of slap it together without any regard for how it'll play, like Estate or Derail, Quarry, Wasteland. I mean, they're all, I don't know anyone that likes them, to be honest with you, except quickscopers and noobtubers. I just hope that in Modern Warfare 3 they realize that they're designing maps again, not just set pieces. Maps need to be balanced. They need to be intentionally designed, not just thrown together to look nice, right? So I mean, that's a concern for me, but that's always a concern for me. I mean, the map design I think in Modern Warfare 2 was the worst I think I've ever seen, which is maybe why I'm a little more concerned about map balance in Modern Warfare 3 than I ordinarily would be. The maps in Modern Warfare 2, aside from being laid out in really illogical ways, and don't get me wrong, I mean, they look great, they just don't play well, and I hope you guys understand sort of the difference there and kind of where I'm going with that. But I mean, those maps were in general, also just too big by about 50%. There's so much unused space in that game. It just blows my mind. Like on Karachi, there are 2 entire city blocks that have nothing to do with the objectives. They're just out there, The same thing on Invasion, the same thing on Estate. There's so much space with nothing out there, especially in objective game modes. All I can think of is that they basically just exist to help people boost for nukes, It's just another reason why I never liked that game, why I could not like that game. So I'm really hoping that they understand the value of smaller, more condensed maps. Keep the fighting centralized, keep the fighting constant. There's a reason why people like Firing Range, why they like Summit, why they like Shipment and Scrapyard and Dome. It's because there's fighting everywhere you go. You can head in any direction, and there's bound to be an enemy there. There's bound to be a gunfight you can join. And that's, the same reason why nobody really likes Array, nobody really likes Derail or Outskirts. They're too big. They're too big for 6 players anyway. Maybe they're better on Ground War. But when there's 6 guys all crowding around the sniper tower on Array, or crowding around the sniper crane or whatever that thing is in the back, it gets boring fast. There's this huge map, and all the fighting is going on in this one little corner of it, and it's no fun for anybody. And again, in Call of Duty 4, I think, had very good map design, and there were some cases where one side would have an advantage over the other, like Marines on Bog have this just disgusting advantage over Op 4 because their approach to the objectives is so direct. Or Spetsnaz on Downpour, I think, because the SAS guys have to round this completely blind corner on their way toward B, and you just get turned into hamburger trying to get in there. But the size of the maps was very good, and I'm hoping they'll bring back a few as DLC in Modern Warfare 3, and not just because I would love to see a Pavlo hover down low over that statue on Showdown and just wreck everybody. but anyway, I mean, I've got a little bit of time left, so I just kind of wanted to talk about the future of this channel. What I plan to do with it, that kind of stuff. I'm obviously going to continue this project through the release of Modern Warfare 3, but hopefully, this is going to be a project that I continue to do indefinitely. I like doing this. It's a creative outlet for me, but I did kind of get in toward the tail end of Black Ops, though, so just because of the timing, I really didn't get a chance to cover the sorts of topics I would have liked to. A lot of my Black Ops stuff talks about how to improve as a player in a general sense, whereas with Modern Warfare 3, because I'll be getting in sort of on the ground floor, so to speak, I'll be able to be a lot more specific. I can talk about individual weapons, perks, equipment, streak loadouts. And my map videos can sound a lot more like guides and tutorials rather than just, me talking about why I think it's good or bad. I can be a lot more specific, and I'm really looking forward to that. But as I begin to change the format, please let me know if you don't like it. I'm not doing these videos for myself, I want them to be entertaining, I want them to be informative, and finding the balance between those has been an interesting experience for me, and it's still something that I'm working on. So please continue to give me feedback, guys. It helps a lot. I said this in the last video, but I'm sort of invested in this now, I'll continue to push out this content for as long as you guys are interested in watching it, which I hope is going to be for a while, right? So again, please, continue to rate, comment, subscribe, favorite. You guys are such a cool community to work with. This channel has grown tremendously in a very short amount of time, and I really appreciate that. But let's keep it up. I know there are some newbies out there that haven't really jumped on board yet, so let's get to it, right? I'm gonna have to head out for now. So, as always, my name is Milk Ducks, and until next time, quack quack.